is Urzikstan only. However, there is still a map rotation because it rotates between different Urzikstan POIs.
It's very cool, yeah.
Which I think is a great thing to do. Yeah, it's
and
a
it
great
tells you
way.
what POI it's on, just like the Ashika and Vondel rotation, yeah.
Activision devs do not play their own game.
3,000 devs can't figure out how to add a reconnect feature to a AAA title, I guess. I don't know.
Because Infinity Ward doesn't tell their consumers anything.
Maybe that'll take some of the sweats away from Shoot House.
You can cope about that for sure.
Thanks for tweeting, at least. Thanks for doing more than Infinity Ward has done. They just keep tweeting about the soccer bundles in the store.
Things that are bad. We've got a couple words. Why don't you kick it off, Tanner?
This is going to be a longer section than the first part you guys heard.
Change it, obviously, of course. We are live, boys and girls. Welcome to the Dropshot Call of Duty Podcast, episode number 381. My name is Casey, also known as Razinon. Today, I am joined by Tanner. Yeah, like the stream now, by the way. And we have an episode for you on Call of Duty, primarily Warzone, but Season 1, generally. Some patch notes, some hidden patch notes, maybe. We'll see. We'll get into it. Some thoughts, some tweets, some community feedback from the developers of the video game that we play, which, again, we got more this week than we got from Infinity Ward last year. So yeah, a good amount to talk about here today, and I want to go play Warzone now. Let me be clear. I don't want to be here.
I don't want to be here either. Let's be super clear.
I just don't. I just don't.
Not at all.
So if you're listening to this, I want you to know I don't want to be here.
Yeah. I really truly don't. Yeah.
Almost against my will, really.
I wish we just skipped today and just did a Saturday pod. Yeah.
I'd love to. Hey,
we could end now and just not even do it.
We certainly could. Yeah, but we're not going to because we have integrity.
Well,
and we should be compensated monetarily by you for it. Speaking of which, let's get through some announcements and welcome our new patrons for this week. We got some new patrons. Now's a great time to have done that, by the way. Oh, I need your thing.
Yeah.
So, welcome to our new patrons. Penguin Games, change it. Josh B, these are our new gold patrons. Cody S, Cody with a K, change it. Action League Now, lots of change it's. Andrew R B K and Tyrone G. Boys, welcome to the Patreon. Very much appreciate that. Early access, ad-free, and bonus episodes for every episode, every month. And thank you to all of you who have joined. A better people than you exist, though, like Austin B, our new platinum patron, an absolute god. Very kind of you, sir. And some new Damascus patrons as well. Probably returning, I'm assuming. Oh yeah, this is we extorted this Damascus patronage, right?
We did, yeah.
From Reflex.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Shout out to Reflex/Bjorn. I don't know who subsidized this patronage, but we'll take it either way. Thank you, buddy. Also, we got some upgraders, N-Seeker, Jax, and Jitsi.
Okay, stop thanking Jax. Stop. We have to stop thanking him. He gets a thanks every month because he has it auto renew to gold and then upgrades or something. Yeah. No, because I always get the email. It's like he upgraded from gold to Damascus. So we're not thanking him anymore. Yeah, you don't deserve any thanks, Jax. Jitsi, though. Glad to see Jitsi go in Damascus, man. He's been a long time gold chatter that people finally got to him, that he was bullied into it. So
a little too handsome, though. We have too many attractive men, sexually attractive men, as Damascus patrons.
Wait,
and
yeah,
I don't
who
like
was the other? Hold on, there was another new patron that was super handsome. Maybe it's Austin?
Possible?
Or maybe it was just somebody joined. I don't remember. I remember somebody joining and I looked and I was like, Jesus Christ, man.
Be uglier is what I'm saying.
Yeah, you guys.
I'm not saying don't join the Patreon. I'm saying be uglier. It's real simple.
Yeah.
But thank you guys very much. Very much appreciate it. N-Seeker, Jitsi, and Reflex, and not Jax, to be clear. Wink, nudge. Also, we got some new annual patrons, saving a little bit of money. Welcome to our new gold annual patron, Andrew P., whom I've known for probably 10 years, because I used to play SWOTOR with him, actually. He was one of the people that not only played SWOTOR, but actually did like the PvP, the ranked PvP. He was one of the ranked gamers. He's
I did that too.
Quite good.
I played ranked with you.
Well.
What? I did.
You definitely didn't. It was 8s at that time, and we did not play 8s. Anyways, Andrew, welcome aboard, buddy. Very much appreciate that, dude, and very kind of you. And it was, good to see a familiar face. And a better person than you, Mr. Wakefield, our new annual platinum patron. Go annual, save yourself 12 or 16%, whatever it is. I don't know the amount, but you do save an amount, and we appreciate that, Mr. Wakefield. Welcome aboard, buddy. Now, speaking of the Patreon, we have done a bonus episode this month. It was our Platinum Q&A that is now live for your listening enjoyment and convenience. So if you're a Platinum or above tier, you can go listen to that now. It was a solid one, I think. I don't remember too much. Oh, no, now
it was a good one, I think. It was actually a really good Q&A, I'm pretty sure.
Talked about some movies, some films.
Oh, yeah, the old films, yeah.
Some food, as always, of course.
Some food, yeah. What were some other ones? I don't think we had too many bad questions. I mean, well, let me rephrase that. There were plenty of awful questions, but we just skipped right past them. Just fly
right through them, yeah, for sure. For sure. We did, yeah. But anyway, that's now live if you're a Platinum or above patron. And for the rest of you patrons or prospective patrons, for gold episodes this month that all of our patrons can listen to, expect those to start rolling out next week. Obviously, season 1 just happened. The Warzone integration happened. That's where our focus has primarily been since launch of season 1 yesterday. And it's primarily where our focus will continue to be. So for at least a couple weeks, and next week, we'll probably have our first bonus episode be like a Warzone brainstorm, because there's a lot to talk about, especially with the new perks, as well as, what guns are meta. That's like starting to be discovered. Yeah. So yeah, expect those other bonus episodes sometime next week. Obviously, we want to wait until we have, played the new content, season 1. That's why, they're coming later. Yeah. But we got season 1 luckily pretty early this month. So yeah, next week, expect those to start rolling out. In the meantime, enjoy early access, enjoy ad-free, and you'll get them all.
Oh, should we make an announcement about the camo grind part 2? Should we mention that?
Sure.
Is that set for sure? Probably, right?
Oh. Yeah, probably. Yeah. Yeah. Also, yeah. So Tanner's going to be out of town for Christmas. So we will be pre-recording an episode instead of just depriving you of one for that particular Saturday. Which Saturday is that going to be?
That is the 23rd. Saturday the 23rd. 2 days before Christmas. Stop pushing out a fart, man.
I really had to squeak that one out. So yeah, on that day, we're going to do our camo grind tips part 2 episode, where we will cover more of the base camos we already covered. If we found any extra tips there, which I think have a couple, and then talking about the priceless challenges for all the guns.
And Forged. We didn't even talk about Forged really, did we?
Forged and priceless. That's what I meant. Yeah. So that part 2 will be coming out on the 23rd, almost certainly. Yeah. So if you're still in the midst of the camo grind, you can go take a listen to that. And then also we're going to talk about in that episode, our kind of opinion on the whole camo grind this year. If we can expect it again, if we enjoyed it, if it was too fast, too slow, whatever. So yeah, that is what will be happening at that time, but we'll get more into that again. We'll remind you guys as we get closer to that date. And then this Saturday, we will be doing Warzone first impressions. But we'll get into that in a second. If you're listening for the jingle, here it is. Oh, by the way, Damascus patrons, our hangout will probably be next Friday.
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
That's what they're saying.
Oh, gotta put the time in there.
All right, boys and girls, welcome to the Dropshot episode 381. So, we got our season 1 patch notes finally. And now we're going to go into them. And they actually split the patch notes into two separate links, like two separate blog posts. I don't know if they've ever done that for patch notes. Pretty interesting, but let's dive into them. Here we go. MW3 season 1 patch notes.
Yeah.
Let's get active here. So yeah, this was on December 6th, Wednesday. And we are going to kind of breeze through a lot of this.
Especially multiplayer, yeah.
Yeah, because most of you have probably already played by now, first of all. And second of all, most of the things we would want to talk about with respect to these patch notes, we've already covered in the previous season 1 blog post they did that included the roadmap and stuff. So we've already learned most of the things season 1 brought us. But we will go through the patch notes, and if there's any additional details or news or anything, we will cover that. But this is not going to be an exhaustive look at any of the patch notes. So first they start with the new maps. And I will talk briefly about these since I've played them. Greece, they write words. So as I was saying before we started recording, Greece is, let me be clear, a far worse map than I thought it was going to be, which speaks volumes, not just the volumes to how bad of a map it is. I was playing 12v12 Mosh Pit, which is double the lobby size of a traditional lobby, right? And I was playing on Greece. I had the misfortune of playing on Greece, and it was still too big. Wow. Now, there are bigger maps in MW3 than Greece. Invasion's bigger, probably. But Invasion, unlike Greece, has sight lines that are longer than 3 meters because there are entirely too many buildings. And also, there is, in fact, water, which is not cool either.
Yeah.
This map, to be clear, has no redeeming qualities, and you shouldn't play it. I can't imagine playing it in 6s, how slow and awful it would be.
Especially with covert sneakers.
At all, especially with covert sneakers, because there are so many buildings. Every sight line is 10 meters, actually. It's disgusting. Terribly designed map. It either needed to be 30% as large as it is, or have 30% of the amount of buildings it has. One of those two things. And also remove all the water, always, obviously. But this map is not fun. Don't play it. Oh, why isn't there a Grease 24/7 playlist? Because they have some mercy, I guess. It's not
nice
worth playing.
Yeah,
vote against it.
That was nice of them.
It's a terrible map. Terrible map. Not fun, not good.
All right.
Period. Meat is another new map that we got in multiplayer. This does have its own 24/7 playlist. Meat is an excellent map. It's really fun. Perfect size. It's on the smaller side, but I wouldn't say small. Well, I'd probably say small, but it's not like Shipment. It's bigger than that, but it's on the smaller side.
Like Shoot House or DOS House, maybe? Like that size?
Yeah, DOS House size, just about. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe a teenth's bigger. Just a teenth's, though. Just a teenth's.
Yeah.
But it's really well designed. It's got exceptional, immaculate flow. Good visibility everywhere. Super fun and enjoyable. I really like this map. I think it's great. It's really fun to play. I don't even know if it's like a 3-lane map. I guess it is, but the middle lane is very precarious. But yeah, it is like a 3-lane map. It's kind of like a rectangular shape. Really fun, really, really good map. It's got CQB. It's got medium range sight lines. It has 1, maybe 2 long range sight lines as well. It's like the perfect map. It's great. I love it.
Sounds like a great camo grind map. Not overwhelming like shipment.
It's an exceptional camo grind maps. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's kind of like if you enjoy playing shoot house to camo grind back in the day, Meat is for you.
Cool.
That's what I would say. Because yeah, it's eclectic like that. Such a great map. Such a great map. Really fun. And then there's a new gunfight map. Didn't and won't play it. New kill streaks as well. Don't care. New perk, the assassin vest. We've already talked about it. Surprisingly, not many people were running it when I was leveling my Ram and XRK Stalker this morning.
Probably a lot of people don't have it unlocked because it's through the armory.
Probably not. Yeah, because it's through the armory. I think it's only 3 tokens, though. I had everything in the armory done by the time I played this morning because I played Warzone yesterday. We'll get into that. Maybe we won't. So I'll just mention it quickly here. If you play Warzone, you'll get 1 million armory unlocks. So if you still have anything to unlock in your armory, play Warzone for an hour. And I don't know why, but you get so many. I actually got probably 200. I'm not kidding, yesterday.
Yeah.
Because I started yesterday playing Warzone, and there's a sticker in the armory that says winner, and it takes 90 tokens to unlock. And I unlocked that from 0 to being done with it in, I think, 2 or 3 games.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. Now, we were doing well, so that's probably part of the reason. But this is no matter how good you are or not, playing Warzone / Resurgence is definitely the fastest way to do armory unlocks. It's gross.
Well, I think it's bugged. They'll probably put out a patch for it next week or something. Because there's no way it should be giving you that much. It makes, like, obviously, for placement, you should be getting armory tokens because it lasts longer. Like, it shouldn't be a win, of course. So it should be like, I don't know, first place, you get 5 tokens, maybe. Top 3, you get like 3. I don't know. Probably more than that, but still, it's like, it's actually bugged right now. It has to be. You're just unlocking everything within a few matches. It's pretty crazy.
It's super insane, yeah. So even if you're not a Warzone player, if you have any armory unlocks to do, go play Resurgence quads, squad fill, and just try and do well. And you'll get like all of them, yeah. But anyway, yeah, I didn't see many people using the assassin vest. I was using it, of course. But
yeah, nerd.
I didn't see many other people.
You're petrified.
By the way, also on this topic, I don't know if this is going to be in the patch notes, but the throwing star, lethal, has been nerfed. It is no longer a one-hit kill in multiplayer, which it never should have been, to be clear, but it is in fact useless now. It's like a 2-hit kill. I got like 3 hit markers in a row with it, and I realized, oh, they must have nerfed it. Okay. So I went back to throwing knives. But yeah, that needed to happen, by the way. It was insanely overpowered. Because before Season 1, it was a 1-hit kill, which is insane.
Yeah,
maybe it still is if you hit like the chest or something, but
I thought it was never supposed to be a 1-hit kill everywhere.
I don't
so
think
maybe
it
was bugged.
Yeah, maybe
because that's what it's supposed to be. It's like 1-hit kill, I think, to like maybe even it was chest, like for sure head or something, I thought, but like a throwing knife, I think in core can 1 tap to their leg, can it?
I think
pretty
anywhere.
Sure.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
I've never got a throwing with a knife hit marker, so yeah.
Oh, I guess it is in the notes somewhere. Somebody says so.
Oh, okay. Good. Yeah. That needed to happen. So anyway, moving on. New game modes, don't care. New weapons. So we'll talk about these a little bit as well. You haven't used either of these, right?
No.
Okay. Ram 7 AR. So I was very excited about this. Mine is now max level. At least in multiplayer, it was very underwhelming to me. Not bad, but not like good. And it also very much lacks the distinct character I recall it having in MW19. The recoil pattern is like way more magnitude, and it's also straight up now. Whereas it used to be like medium recoil, but it was like mostly left. And that was like the cool, unique quirk it had. It feels nothing like the old Ram 7. So if you're an old Ram 7 enjoyer, do not rejoice. They've ruined it. Now in Warzone, evidently the time to kill is very competitive, and we may get into that. But in multiplayer, it felt like just another bog standard, higher than average fire rate assault rifle. It's not bad, but I wouldn't say it's like fantastic or anything. It's just another full auto gun in the game, frankly, which is a real shame, but
yeah, there
you go. And then next, the XRK Stalker sniper rifle. I've been using this as well. In multiplayer, I've been getting hit markers with this. So it is not like an AX50. I think the better analog is, in fact, what was the other one? No, not even an SPR. Maybe.
It doesn't always one
hit. No, it doesn't. I got quite a few hit markers. Mine's
Jesus
almost
Christ.
max level, and I got quite a few hit markers with no attachments even.
So it's closer to like the longbow than the cat, basically.
It one-shots a lot more often than the longbow.
Okay.
But if it had to be closer to one, it is, I guess, closer to the longbow. Yeah. It's not good, is my point, basically.
That sucks, man.
It's really not worth using in core. Most of the time, you'll one-shot, but you can get hit markers with it. And for how like slow of a sniper it is, not that it's cat slow, but it's, it's as slow as it looks, basically. It's not worth it to me, in my opinion.
I just don't understand why that one doesn't one shot. Maybe in they did already say a few times that the heavy weapon balancing will come in Season 1 Reloaded, and then they'll change some more things in Season 2. So hopefully we get more snipers like that become viable in Warzone other than the one we have now.
Yeah, that would be nice. But yeah, my suspicion is it is a one shot from like the belt up in core.
Okay.
That's my suspicion. But I've also gotten chest shots through like walls and gotten hit markers that way as well. Whereas with a cat, I know that's going to be a kill anyway. I'm not going to lose enough damage to not get a one-shot kill anymore. So yeah, kind of a disappointment, but you can also put a red dot on it. So it's really fun on meat once you unlock the optic. Just run around and use a red dot and
yeah.
But it's reminiscent of an era of mine, the Nidar car from Vanguard.
Oh yeah.
I would just run around with the Nidar car, and that was really fun. And that's what this feels like. Didn't always one tap, usually does. You can put a reflex on it. It's fun and exciting. But good? Yeah. No, it's not. Especially with like a KV inhibitor in the game, by the way. I can't believe it doesn't. Yeah, it's not good. Now that I remember the KV inhibitor exists, this gun is not worth using at all. But anyway, that's it. And then a new launcher I refuse to talk about. New aftermarket parts. So yeah, we've talked about all of these. To my knowledge, the only one that's actually usable in the game right now is the flamethrower. And I've seen one clip of it, and the guy was like, well, here's another way to deal with riot shields. And he killed some guy who was holding a riot shield. I guess that is true.
Yeah.
But it's certainly not overpowered. We all would have heard about that by now. But this is unlockable through the battle pass. Unfortunately, I don't think any of the other aftermarket parts are. There might be a weekly challenge where a different aftermarket part is unlocked for completing it. I did it, but I didn't look at the reward, so I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure the weekly challenge right now is this last one, the Jack Headhunter conversion.
Okay.
No, wait, that's compatible with Rival 9. That's not it then. I think the weekly is some conversion kit for like, I don't know.
It's probably another one of these aftermarket parts.
Because I swear it was called the Headhunter Carbine.
The tier aftermarket part is what Andrew was saying. And I believe him. So that would be the Beholder rifle kit.
Because I saw the words headhunter somewhere with the weekly challenge. I know I did, so I don't know. Huh.
Yeah, anyway, I believe Andrew. It's probably the Jack Beholder rifle kit and Purifier. These are the only two ones in the game right now. The reason I noticed the absence of the rest of them is that I really wanted to try the double barrel kit on the AMR9. And when I finished my armory unlocks, I thought maybe I have it unlocked now. I didn't. So yeah, expect most of the other aftermarket parts to come as the season goes on. There's probably going to be 4 more for the next weekly challenges. And then, I don't know, maybe in Season Reloaded, they'll add a couple more to the... Well, I don't know what they would do. I don't know how they would do that. Add them to the armory, maybe? Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, most of the cool ones aren't in. But if you are still doing camos and you're doing the tier, you might want to use the... you might want to do your weekly this week. Jack Beholder rifle kit and use that. Maybe. So anyway,
and there are weeklies now for like Warzone and all that, by the way. So now you can do Warzone, multiplayer, or zombies. And like the ones for Warzone this week, I think one was like, I think 2 or 3 of mine, or I guess the weeklies are the same for everybody. It's like get 10 kills in a certain region. One was maybe like win a game of Warzone or something. I don't remember what it was, but they're very doable challenges. They're not like toxic at all.
I had 4 done without looking at it, so I only had to do one multiplayer to finish it, and one of the multiplayer ones is get 20 kills. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, I did the weekly, so. And I do have Interstellar, by the way, the Mastery camo.
Nice.
New operators, don't care. New events, new battle pass, new PC features. New DLSS. That's interesting. Probably looks terrible, but anyway.
Yeah, DLSS isn't good. It's a gimmick.
Next is multiplayer. So new features and quality of life. Okay. So the stamina bar is now on your heads up display right under your health in the bottom left of your screen in multiplayer, not in Warzone. Now to be clear, once you see the stamina bar like once, you kind of know how it works and you never really are going to look at it again. So it's not like needed in Warzone, in my opinion. Although I want it, you're really only going to look at it once or twice to kind of get a feel for exactly how sliding works with the stamina and all that. But it is in multiplayer, and basically the way it works is, like they've been saying, you have a green bar. As you tack sprint, it diminishes. I think if you jump, it either diminishes it a little bit or it pauses it at the very least. And when you slide, it just pauses your tack sprint meter. So you're neither draining tack sprint nor are you regaining it. So you can get a feel for how that interaction works now in multiplayer. And once they do add that to Warzone, it'll be cool to... I guess you could do it now. It'll be cool to use like double time and compare. Really, what's going to be cool is watching Exclusive Ace do double time versus no double time stamina bar comparison in real time. That's going to be cool, and that's another reason why I'm glad they've added this. But not now that I have it, I'm glad I do, and hopefully we get in Warzone soon.
Yeah, add it to Warzone ASAP.
Yeah. Added upper legs damage and empty reload quickness stats to the details widget in the gunsmith. So I guess there were upper leg damage multipliers, which we already knew, and now they're showing that in the detailed stats, which is good. And then some other things like flinch resistance is more accurate now. Reduce the volume of metals.
Oh, nice.
That's good.
Multi-kill and metal sound effects. Yeah, I definitely did want that.
Yeah.
They have to make some sound changes to Warzone too, which we'll talk about. But yeah, that's good. I like that. Yeah.
And then a lot of bug fixes. Don't think I'm going to read any of these really. Yeah. Nothing here looks super relevant. And then gameplay, movement. Added a delay following multiple rapid stance transitions to prevent exploitable repetition. So basically, they're attempting to nerf snaking, which is rapidly proning and then tack sprinting and then proning again behind a piece of cover so that you can see clearly, but the people trying to shoot you, it's like basically impossible. So they added a delay following multiple rapid stance transitions to prevent this. Crouch to stand 150 millisecond delay. Prone to stand 600 millisecond delay. Jeez. So I think I've noticed this prone to stand delay. Maybe. Because I feel like
you have to be snaking to do that, so you probably haven't noticed. You have to snake like 2 or 3 times, and then it'll add the delay in. So unless you've been doing that, then you haven't actually noticed it.
Okay. Yeah, maybe not. But yeah, I don't know how effective this has been, but people have been asking for to like nerf snaking in some capacity. And if this works as intended and the delays only kick in while you're snaking, I think that's a smart solution, provided it works.
Yeah, I'm surprised they did something, because hasn't CDL been like complaining about snaking? Yeah, why did they finally do it now? Didn't MW2 have a snaking problem? MW19 had a snaking problem? Probably Vanguard. I don't know about Cold War. Probably not Cold War, because there's no tack sprint. Maybe that wouldn't work. I don't even know. But it's interesting now, because like they've complained about it a lot this year, and they G8'd it, and then Sledgehammer adds this delay in. And it's like they did this with the Season 1 update. Hasn't this been an issue for years? Why did none of the other dev teams ever do anything about it? I guess because 2 of them were Infinity Ward, but if it was an issue in Vanguard, I'm surprised they never did anything there either. I don't know. I don't know if it's like actually more exploitable in this game or what.
Yeah, no, it's a good question. The movement is so much faster, and now there are tack pads as well. Although CDL kids don't use that, so I don't know. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. Good question.
I don't know.
But the movement in general is faster than most modern CODs, so maybe it has been more exploitable just for that reason. But this is a good change either way, and I'll take it. So next, spawns. Improve spawn protection, and then hardpoint adjustments, blah, blah, blah. And then weapons and attachments. Decreased hipfire spread penalty incurred while firing, moving for all SMGs. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Better for hipfire.
So now when you're moving and shooting, which you'll always be if you're hip firing a sub or any gun, probably, you'll be less penalized. So every SMG's hip fire has gotten a lot better with that. So that's good. I think I'll take that. And then a bunch of particular specific weapon balance changes. Again, we are not getting into these. MTZ was whatever. Nerfed. Boss B was buffed in semi-auto. Oh no. So this is true again.
I don't think all guns have it though. I think only like a select couple guns have this. That's what I remember hearing.
I guess this is multiplayer, so I don't really mind, but increased damage multipliers
too
on the Boss B in semi-auto to intended values. And then they buffed the lower torso, arm, and hand multipliers in semi-auto. Maybe this means that in semi-auto, the multipliers were lower than intended. So now they're the same as in full auto. That's possibly what they mean. It's unclear. But anyway. The Sidewinder was buffed a little bit.
Okay.
Still not usable, but buffed a little bit. Striker was buffed. The Swarm was buffed a lot. Dude, 88 millisecond default sprint to fire time. Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Wild. Pretty much, and then the Striker 9 was also buffed as well. Let's see. The Riot Shield was buffed, so now you only need 2 melee hits in core to kill someone. Okay. added a 10% movement speed penalty when the riot shield is your secondary weapon. So you can't just put a riot shield on your back and suffer no consequences anymore. Now you move 10% slower. That might not sound like a lot, by the way, and on shipment it isn't, to be clear. But most of the time, 10% is actually a big movement penalty. So you may see less of the riot shield on the back kids in your games now. That's a lot.
In shipment, I feel like everybody will still run it, on a small map like that, but maybe not the bigger ones now.
Yeah.
Yes, they just made it back to a 2-hit because last year Infinity Ward changed it from 2 to 3 at some point. Luckily, it was after I did my riot shield, I think.
Yeah, I remember we talked about it. It was after we both finished it, yeah. And we laughed at those of you who didn't do it. And then some attachment changes. Super not going into any of these.
Yeah, so some of these, by the way, this first breacher device, this was the goated one for hipfire, and they nerfed the hell out of it.
Oh, no.
This was the one that gave you like a 25 to 30% boost in hipfire spread, and they decreased that benefit by 14%.
I think it was like 60% hipfire boost, actually. It was like dumb. It was the best hipfire and tac stance attachment. The breacher device muzzle.
Yeah.
It was the only muzzle, and still is, that helps hipfire or tac stance. They nerfed the hipfire only. So that's still going to be definitely worth using for hipfire and tac stance.
It's still probably going to be the best hipfire attachment if you're building a gun with 5 of them. There's probably going to be nothing that benefits it more than that does.
So, nothing else at all does for the muzzle category, So it'll still be worth using, but that's something. Okay. Hollow point was nerfed as well. Decreased the penalty from 800 to 200 milliseconds.
Oh my god.
So you can start sprinting again in a quarter of the time.
800 milliseconds when you hit someone
insane.
In the leg?
Yeah, that's really insane. Like almost a full second you can't move. And everyone uses hollow point in multiplayer. So that's a good change. For sure. So anyway. Let's see. And then they did some weapon balance for multiplayer for MW2 guns as well. Stop using MW2 guns. I'm not telling you about any of them. Let's see.
They buffed the Razinon. That's funny. And the ISO 45. Huh.
Yeah. Okay. Level cap's now 250. And you can get Prestige 5 that way. Okay. Next one is nice. Increased animation rate of Priceless and Interstellar Completionist camos. I have both, by the way. The Completion camos. I have Interstellar. The Mastery camo. They made the animation, the reactive camo, a lot faster.
It is so much faster.
And it's noticeably faster and better. Yeah, it's an improvement. It's really good looking now. So, which I have, which is nice. And then some map kind of adjustments. Not going to read any of these. Let's see.
Increase XP in search.
XP has gone up. So if you play search, you'll be getting more player XP, which doesn't matter anymore. War.
Well, it does, because, I mean, you're getting weapon XP for that stuff, too.
Oh, I guess that's true. Well, I mean, why are you playing search for weapon XP? It would...
Yeah, but this is something players that love search have like always complained about, how they don't get enough XP when they just want to play search and not like do anything else, which I understand. They should. You should have way more XP per kill or whatever in that mode, of course, because it's a 1 life mode. So it makes total sense. So
it's good.
This is good.
It's good they did it. Yeah. And then War, they just ruined more because they made the only good phase, which is phase 2, even shorter. So sick. And yeah, okay, the throwing star can now only one-shot headshot to the head. So yeah, stop using the throwing star. Go back to throwing knife. Let's see. Trophy will no longer work against a mosquito drone. So that's a little buff to the mosquito drone. Let's see. And some vehicle changes, and that's kind of it. Yeah. And then the next section they get into is zombies. And we have not really played zombies. I don't have much to say here beyond what we've already said.
Yeah, we're not
from the blog post. So nothing to really say there. Some zombies. Weapon balance has been done as well.
They did a lot to it. They added the other act in as well. Yeah. Oh, they also increased the animation rate of Borealis and bioluminescent completionist camos.
Oh, that's good.
So, yeah.
And then just a lot of like bug fixes, it looks like. A lot of bug fixes for guns, some for missions as well. Contract changes, things like that. Looks like they've done quite a lot. But yeah, we're not going to get into this. We haven't played it yet. And then that is pretty much it. So that's the multiplayer blog post. What are your thoughts, buddy?
Nothing bad.
Yeah, true.
Balancing. I don't know. I haven't touched multiplayer yet, but yeah, everything seems good with it. No glaring issues. Does seem like a really good map. So overall, I think Season 1's just good for multiplayer. Made multiplayer better.
Yeah, I agree. My biggest disappointment with multiplayer is that Greece is terrible. Mm-hmm. So we really only got one new good map. And the two new weapons we got are also fairly underwhelming.
Yeah.
The Ram 7, like, maybe there is something to that with max attachments. It might have some particular benefit you can't get with another AR. I kind of doubt it, but maybe. But even then, it kind of lacks character. But my bigger complaint is that the new sniper, the XRK Stalker, with the KV inhibitor, which is semi-auto, I don't, and one hits, I think, just as often as the Stalker. At least it felt that way to me. I just don't see a place at all for the Stalker, which is a real shame. I think it should be like an AX50 in its damage profile. Or kill potential, I should say. So, yeah. But overall, a solid season. And Meat is a really, really fun map. And also, we haven't gotten most of the very impactful aftermarket parts that we will be getting this season.
That's
like
true.
The AMR9 double barrel, that's going to blow it wide open. That's going to be super fun and interesting to use. And then some of those other aftermarket parts look like viable and actually usable. Like the one that keeps you on radar longer, but gives you insane recoil control. Put that on a Boss B for Warzone. And now it'll have like no recoil and an insane time to kill. That's going to be super interesting. And it would be that I could say the same for multiplayer as well with that attachment. So once we get all those aftermarket parts too, or once we start getting them, that's going to be fun as well.
Yeah.
So there is more to multiplayer than we've talked about here. And we will be getting it. And also another thing too is, unlike MW 2, before Season 1, multiplayer was already quite fun in my opinion. So even though this wasn't the most overwhelming multiplayer season launch for me, I'm okay with that. It only got better, just not as much better as I would have liked. And the game is still very fun. So I'll take it.
Today's episode is brought to you by the Dropshot LLC, which is us. Guys, if you've been thinking about joining the Patreon, it's an excellent time. Warzone just launched the seamless integration. It was seamless. The game is perfect. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to go to patreon.com/thedropshot. You can either join at the gold tier, which is just $5 a month. Early access, ad-free public episodes, 3 COD-related bonus episodes every month, as well as every bonus episode we've ever recorded, the whole back catalog, and access to the Patron Alley in Discord. First bonus episode this month is planned to be a Warzone brainstorm, and boy, we are going to be hard focused on Warzone for a while here. Multiplayer episodes will come, but we will be hard focused on Warzone. That's what most of you enjoy. That is what we enjoy. Gonna be bangers. $10 a month will get you the platinum tier. Everything you get from the gold tier alongside one Q&A episode where you guys can ask questions or just hear the answers. Damascus, the Chad tier, $20 a month, gets all of that, plus a behind-the-scenes episode, a monthly Damascus-only hangout, and access to the best channel in Discord, the Damascus Lounge. If you hate hearing this ad, if you hate hearing our voices, sign up for Patreon. Now back to the show.
All right, so now moving on to Warzone. Season 1 patch notes. So this is where Tanner and I have spent the vast majority of our time. I played Warzone yesterday for a long time. Like, boy, when did it go live? 10?
Your time, 10.
Yeah. I played for like 6 hours straight. It was really fun. And let's get into it. So one thing I'll say actually before we start, and on Saturday, Tanner and I will be doing an entire episode dedicated to Warzone, post-integration, first impressions. We will probably talk about kind of what we think about some of these things today, but we're not going to get into any huge detail on a Warzone review until Saturday. Yes. So if you really want all of our expanded thoughts on Warzone, that's going to be next episode, 382. We'll talk a little bit about our first impressions with respect to some of this stuff as we, approach it. But like, overall, what'd you think? Blah, blah, blah. That's all going to be in our first impressions episode. And I already have a lot to say, and we're going to play a lot more Warzone before then. I'm going to be playing a lot tomorrow. So, keep that in mind as well, if that's what you're expecting here. But I will do a spoiler alert, unless my opinions dramatically change between now and Saturday. I think very highly of Warzone right now. Really highly. So we will get more into the details on that on Saturday. But for now, here are the patch notes. Starting with the events, which are not live yet. So, K. Battle Pass, K. New weapons, we've already talked about. I guess in Warzone in particular, the Ram 7 has a very competitive time to kill. I think the only other gun that has a faster TTK is the Boss B, which is a battle rifle. So, haven't seen anyone using it yet, but most people probably haven't unlocked it yet.
Yeah.
So I will be trying this in Warzone, but this is probably worth leveling at least to try, because the time to kill is really good in Warzone. So, yeah. Okay, moving on. They go through a lot of things we've already talked about. The new map, Urzikstan. The visibility is great. It's as good as I expected it to be.
It's the best visibility we've ever had in Warzone, I think.
Unless you're in a building.
Yes,
and
that's yes, that is very true. Sorry, outside in the sun, it is the best visibility we've had in Warzone ever, in my opinion. Yeah. Yeah, inside buildings, that is a totally different story. Great point. Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll get into that more.
Even with that,
Saturday,
though, it's probably got to be the best, because Verdansk also had really dark corners and stuff.
That's true. You know what, though? Warzone 2, in buildings, I could see people better than in this game.
That is true.
That doesn't mean Warzone 2 is better, but it did have the edge in that particular case. But yeah, there are a lot of dark rooms where you will not see people. But yeah, overall, the map, pretty solid. We'll talk way more about it on Saturday. The new train, pretty cool.
It needs a buff.
The new zip lines.
But it's pretty cool.
Well, yeah, we'll get into it on Saturday. New zip lines, again, pretty cool. We'll talk more about that later. They go over the POIs. Not much to say here.
Yeah, we're skipping the POIs.
I will say, though, that Urzikstan Cargo, this is the tallest building that's ever been in a video game. You are really high up there.
It's city.
And it's very fun to snipe from.
Zaravan
that's
City.
What I said.
Yeah. Cargo is the cargo picture above that. Yeah, that's not.
Yeah.
Tallest building.
Yeah. I don't know why you said that, because no one said cargo.
Dude,
yeah,
that city.
It's the tallest
we
building.
lived up there. We set up a campsite. We were a firing squad up there. It was fun, man.
We were big chilling. Yeah. We got some absurd snipes, or at least I did. I don't know about Tanner, but anyways.
Okay.
And then keep going, more POIs. Yeah. Once again, we will talk all about this on Saturday. The new Gulag as well.
It sucks. And it's
I don't think so. I think it's fine. I think I lost like 3 gulags in 6 hours. I don't know what happened. I just was doing very well in it. The gulag loadouts are poop, though.
Miserable, yeah.
You
it's
either
like
get a
Sidewinder,
Sidewinder or a
SVA.
Striker.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Yeah, and getting a Sidewinder is not good. I am pleased to report, though, and again, we'll talk about it more on Saturday. The water on the sides, super not worth going in. I killed quite a few people because I heard them splish splashing. And I was like, okay. So I just run over there and just shoot them. Because unlike, big map, I don't know how deep you can go, but you don't have time to get in the water and go underneath and survive. It's too small. It's too enclosed. So luckily the water is not like a viable strategy. It's a really terrible idea. So we'll talk more about this on Saturday, though. Let's see.
Oh, there's a new mode, Battle Royale. A returning mode.
Okay.
Yeah, Battle Royale.
Yeah, there are public events. By the way, I will say on public events, because this is something we probably won't talk about on Saturday. There are a lot of them, I feel like. I feel like we get like a public event a lot. Like we got like between a jailbreak and the communal loadouts right away and the strongholds and the cache things. There were a lot of events going on.
Yeah.
And I think part of the reason why is because there are so many different ones that I guess the likelihood is pretty high that at least one of them hits. And I feel like that's fine. I felt like that was pretty cool.
Yeah. This is talking about the Gulag public events here, but yeah, they're I thought they were good too. Yeah. The stronghold thing is good. There are no bots in the stronghold. You just go in and cap it. And surprisingly, we did it 2 or 3 times. I think only one time there was another team there and it was literally one team and we wiped them. So people aren't going for the strongholds.
A lot of people went for a stronghold we went for.
Really? Okay.
But then with you, I remember doing 2. One time, 2 other teams went there, but they both got scared off. And then another time, like, no one went there.
Yeah, well, okay, so there were 2 teams the one time. We killed the one immediately. And then we went in, got our loadout. And then there was another team. They weren't pushing us. They were, like, in the next building. And then we went outside, and then they came outside, and we killed all them. But they didn't, like, push us when we were trying to do it. They weren't even, like, fighting over the stronghold. They were fighting other teams.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, they bailed. Yeah, so... Yeah, I quite like the pacing of the public events because none of them are like crazy. There's no public event like a Juggernaut box is going to drop like we've had on Rebirth Island and on Caldera, actually, for example. So with the absence of bad public events, a lot of public events happening, I think is totally fine. And it did spice it up. Like, oh, this one's a jailbreak. Oh, there's a fire sale. Oh, communal loadout. We were going to go to that not that stronghold, excuse me. We were going to go for that scav, but let's alter course and drop on this community loadout. We did that a couple times.
Okay, wait. I have a question about that. That first, when that loadout event happens at the beginning of a match, is that for one team to use it, or you're saying teams can continue to hit that? I figured it's just the first team that grabs it has it.
I don't know.
Okay.
That's a great question. I have no idea. But we've always been first to it every time we've tried.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Okay.
So yeah, that is a good question though. But yeah, like the events are cool and there are so many that there's variety.
Yeah.
Because like when we first got events, it was like, especially in Caldera, there were guaranteed public events every 4th circle, and it was always either a fire sale or the resupply where all the supply boxes have loot again. And like that was maybe good, but it was just so predictable that like all the matches still felt the same. But now we have so many that each match feels different, which is cool.
Oh, I'm going to say this right now before I forget. The fake loadout icons still exist in this game, by the way. I died. One of you guys flared me back. When I started coming down, my body, where my body was, there was a loadout icon and it says loadout drop on staring at it and on my mini map. So cool. They still haven't fixed that from day 1 of Warzone 2. Got it. You know what I haven't seen is a self-revive pistol. I wonder if they're in the game.
They already said they took them out.
Oh, did they?
We went over it, yeah. They said they removed it until further notice. They said it might return. So I would not expect us to ever.
When did we cover that? Like at the end of Warzone 2?
I think it was in the blog post. Maybe. I'm positive I'm positive we covered it, yeah. Or maybe I just saw it on Twitter, actually. Maybe it's in the patch notes here somewhere. But yeah, there are no revive pistols, that's why. And also, since we probably won't talk about this on Saturday, in the gulag, there's the rope that drops down that you can ascend instead of the overtime flag. In 6 hours, no one in my gulags, including me, ever touched it ever. Or was even remotely close to doing that. It's entirely too small for that to be worth trying. So, exactly as expected, it doesn't matter. But, yeah, anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on. Modes, BR. So, yeah, we have BR. So, here's a big thing. The player count is confirmed 100. And the match length is 20 minutes. Now... do we talk about this now or Saturday?
Did we?
I guess we'll talk about it.
Well, I was just wondering, did we already talk about this on Saturday, or was that info not out yet?
That info wasn't out until
okay.
I think yesterday. Yeah.
I don't want to talk about it yet because I don't really have much to say on it yet. I need to play more.
Okay. Yeah. So we'll talk more about the player count, the match length, and all that. But they did confirm for now the player count is 100 and the match length is 20 minutes, which is pretty short. So that's meant to make it be not super slow because it's 100 instead of 150 players.
Yeah.
To counteract that, they make the match faster, meaning circles get smaller more quickly, basically. And the pacing felt okay to me. But yeah, we'll talk more about that on Saturday. And here's what they say about it, by the way. The pacing of BR is critical to the experience and needs to represent the rhythm of a heartbeat.
Okay.
No, it doesn't. That doesn't even mean anything.
That's an okay.
Where the peaks and troughs are consistent and healthy throughout the game. Yeah, so a lot of words.
They're
here.
yapping.
They're yapping, yeah. Historically, Warzone has always had large player counts in its larger maps. But as we have added additional respawn mechanics and changed circle sizes and timings, we have found it impacted the time to action pacing of the game. With the new map, there are a number of considerations the team have made for the player count. Urzik stands 20% smaller than Moz. The match is faster at 20 instead of, I think, 25 minutes, which is a big difference, by the way.
It is.
Even if it doesn't sound like it. The gas circle timers and sizing commensurate with that. More second chance redeploy mechanics. Again, that is relevant. If you have 150 players and you also have flares and redeploy tokens, then you're going to have a lot of people in a very small circle often. So that is like fair. Unsuppressed red dots. That doesn't seem relevant. I'm not sure why they included that. Big game bounties. Updated bounty contract rewarding 1 UAV ping as a reward. I didn't notice that you get that. So if you complete a bounty, you get a little UAV sweep as a reward. I didn't know that. Did you?
No. Well, this big game bounty one, by the way, it says contracts advance UAV reward. But you said it said something about there's just a chance of giving it to you in the patch notes? Because this makes it sound like you're guaranteed.
The black sites. It is guaranteed.
Oh,
for big game
the black sites. Yeah, it was the black sites we didn't get it in. Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, big game bounty works the way it used to. As soon as you get the kill, it gets auto popped. You can't pocket it, so it's not nearly as good as a pocketed one. But it's still solid. But yeah. So anyway, the stability and performance of the game
is
one of the reasons that they've reduced the player count, because on Moz, they had 150 players on paper, but never actually, because all of them crashed because it was made by Infinity Ward. So much so that Raven literally made that a note. That is hilarious, actually. Wow. That's funny.
That's so funny, dude. Oh my God.
By the way, I did crash twice yesterday. Or three times. I don't remember.
I did some crashing. The performance is good, but the game crashes. Yeah.
It's, yeah. For day one, an acceptable amount, but let's tune
I would agree with that, yeah.
Let's get a pro tune. Let's get a pro tune on the servers. So, to summarize, regardless of the number of players, the time to action is one of our more important variables. Based on the above, we will be monitoring the time between engagements in BR throughout Season 1 and make pacing changes where necessary in future seasons. Now, right now, I've got some alarm bells going off here. And let me tell you why. Raven has done a lot of tweaking to Warzone when they've been in charge in the past. And with respect to player count, they have always said, we are monitoring player count and will continue to tweak as time goes on. Here, they explicitly do not say that. And they say they are instead going to be monitoring time between engagements and make pacing changes where necessary. Now, one of those changes could be adding players. But I think what they mean here and why they didn't say player count is if they feel like the game is still too slow, they're just going to make the match timer shorter or change the gas circle time so they close faster. I think they are very against having any more than 100 players in BR. That's what this sounds like to me. Maybe I'm reading too much into it.
I think you are, because I thought they tweeted something out that said something about actual player counts. I was trying to find it.
I linked it.
Or like a dev tweeted something. I don't remember what it was, but I kind of think you're just reading too much into it. That is what a lot of people are saying, though, is it needs 120 or maybe even 130. But I don't know, because the thing is, again, we'll talk about it on Saturday, but like, it feels like I'm always getting third-partied, so I don't know. It feels like, again, every gunfight I'm in, I'm getting third-partied if I'm not on a roof sniping. So I'm like, what's going to happen if there are 30 more players in the match? I don't know.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. So yeah, either way, maybe I'm reading too much into it, but we'll give you more thoughts on what we think of the pacing and stuff on Saturday. So next is Resurgence. So Resurgence is back. Ashika and Vondel are those in the game?
No, they'll probably come out tomorrow. It said about 48 hours post-launch they were going to add them.
Yeah. Okay, that's right.
It's by tomorrow, 10 a.m. maybe we get them.
So right now it's Resurgence. If you want to play it for the first 2 days, is Urzikstan only. However, there is still a map rotation because it rotates between different Urzikstan POIs.
It's very cool, yeah.
Which I think is a great thing to do. Yeah.
It tells you what POI it's on, just like the Ashika and Vondel rotation, yeah.
Yes, so you can snipe whatever POI you want to play. It's effectively like 3 Resurgence maps in one.
It is, yeah.
So, like I've said in the past, and I will continue to say, I am totally in favor of them reusing maps as long as they do it in a way that is fun and intelligent. And this is the perfect example of that. They didn't have to make any new Resurgence maps, but we got 3 new Resurgence maps, actually.
Yeah.
Perfect. That means there's more dev time instead of making 3 new Resurgence maps, like Fort Resurgence, for example. Instead of that, they can spend that time they would have been spending on making new maps on bug fixes or other new features, new perks, whatever, weapon balancing. So this is really cool, and it is really fun. We played a little bit of Urzikstan Resurgence, and I had a good time. It was fun. It was solid. Felt like Resurgence. And, you know, we might have more to say on Saturday. We probably will. But my biggest thing is, as fun as Urzikstan Resurgence is, which it is, I am very curious to see how Vondel plays. Because that's probably my favorite Resurgence map ever, including like Rebirth, Fortune's Keep, all that. And now with all the crazy new movement, the reload while sprinting and diving and sliding and all that stuff, I am very curious to see how Vondel plays. Because in my view, Vondel's either going to be really fun and way improved compared to its Warzone 2 version with all the with the integration, or the movement's going to be so fast and crazy, and climbing gloves and mantling is going to be so absurd that with all the buildings and jump spots, Vondel is going to be like a nightmare. I think it's actually going to be one of the two. It's going to be far worse or far better than it used to be. And I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you share that worry?
No, I think they're just going to be better. I think this honestly may just be a resurgence year. Yeah. Especially because the changes they've made to BR, which I don't think I'm going to end up liking that much. It doesn't feel like BR anymore because the short matches, the quick matches, you always have to be rotating. There's like no downtime, which I think you need some of that in a battle royale. So, I mean, I don't want any of this stuff, of course. I would rather go back to the 150 player OG. None of the gulag tokens, none of that stuff. If I'm dead, let me sit there and watch my teammates until they revive me. Because you don't need all this that they're adding in with Resurgence. But it doesn't matter. They've done it, and it's not going back now. So, I mean, it's fun, but I kind of think I'm honestly just going to end up probably playing a lot of Resurgence this year. Especially when, like, Ashika and Fortune's Keep come... I mean, Rebirth and Fortune's Keep come out. I won't be playing 100-player BR if those are out. No, there's not a chance. So...
Yeah,
I think Vondel's going to be really, really fun. I'm very excited for that, actually.
Yeah, I'm leaning toward that. I'm leaning toward it being like super fun with all the new mechanics and stuff. Yeah. Although we'll talk more about proper BR on Saturday. And I had a lot of fun playing it, and
it is fun.
It does feel different to Resurgence to me. Yeah, we'll talk more about it on Saturday. But anyway, Urzikstan Resurgence is fun. And then Rotation Resurgence, yeah, we've already talked about that. Next is Plunder.
Don't care.
You want to level your guns, go play that. Next is Lockdown.
Don't care.
Don't play it at all. And then that is not quite it, actually. Well, they added all the MW3 guns to MW2, by the way.
Oh, Ashika, they are coming tomorrow. It shows here on the playlist calendar. December 8th, so we'll still have Urzikstan, everything. Vondel and Ashika map rotation. Solos, duos, and trios only, though. Okay.
Interesting.
And next week it's solos, duos, quads.
Yes. And then, so... There you go. So then beyond that, we got all the MW3 weapons. Now, we will talk again a little more about this on Saturday, the guns, because people are still kind of discovering what guns are in fact meta and which ones aren't. However, let's quickly talk about some of the standouts, at least right now, so you guys know what to use and or level until Saturday, if you've been waiting for our opinion on what's overpowered. It's basically what everyone on Twitter has been saying. So a couple of standouts. The Boss B battle rifle, insane time to kill, decent amount of recoil, to be clear, but it's really good. The DG58 LMG, I think Breadman tweeted about this. No recoil. Default 60 round mag, so you don't have to run that attachment. You can use another recoil attachment or what have you. That's another really good one. Some people claim the burst AR, the DG AR, is really good because it is a potential 2-burst kill if you sprinkle in some headshots. I mean, I'm not sure about that, but I don't think I died to one yesterday. Actually, I do think I died to one a couple times.
I died to one, I got melted by one, and I watched the kill cam, and the guy hit all 3 bursts on me as I'm sprinting, and I felt like I died very fast, That's a good one. But let's just say this, actually. The damage profiles are different from Warzone. So if you looked at damage charts like everybody else did in multiplayer and you built a bunch of guns, most of those probably aren't good. A lot of them aren't. Because it's
MCW
totally
is a
different.
good example.
MCW is honestly where I expected. Low recoil, slow time to kill. I didn't expect it to kill fast. But a lot of people were, I had one set up ready to go because I was, I knew it was going to be an easy to control, slower time to kill, but it's like a lot slower. Yeah. It's a kilo. I think close to, it's like 960 millisecond or something. I don't know. It's not great. It's not real great. Yeah. But the damage profiles are different. They changed a lot for Warzone. They haven't gone into details yet. We probably won't know anything really until like Season 1 Reloaded when they do another weapon balancing pass. So, yeah, guns that are good in multiplayer do not necessarily doesn't mean that gun's going to be good in Warzone. Different damage values.
Yes, correct. Which annoys me tremendously, but it is what it is. So yeah, we'll just talk about some other good standout guns. Another popular one, obviously, is the Cat AMR sniper rifle. This is, to my knowledge, the only sniper that can one-shot headshot kill at any range in Warzone on a fully plated opponent.
Without explosive ammo, yes.
Without explosive ammo, meaning you can actually hit your shots. I used this for like half my games yesterday, and sniping is back for sure. You get like, I think if you build it this way, you get like 1,300, 1,400.
I thought we were at velocity. 15. I thought we were like 1510 was the build. It's good.
Maybe. Yeah. It's basically the max velocity barrel and muzzle and then spire point rounds ammo type.
Yeah.
And that gets you a ton of velocity, which is what you want. And then you get a one-shot headshot kill. This is another very viable primary right now in Warzone. Obviously. And then for secondaries, the Striker, not the Striker 9, but the regular Striker, and the WSP Swarm seem to be the meta SMGs in the mix right now.
Yeah.
So we might learn more by Saturday, and we can talk about those things, but just if you needed like kind of just some guidance, there's some guidance for you. I was using the Holger 26 LMG actually for a lot of my games yesterday. And it again has like no recoil and a decent time to kill, like faster than an MCW, for example. And I was doing quite well with that. But in terms of where exactly the meta lies right now, I don't think anyone really knows yet, other than the guns I just mentioned are quite good. Did I miss any?
I don't think so. I think the Bass B right now is like primarily the best primary full auto gun. Definitely hard to control. If you're a player of lower skill, you may find it too difficult. It's not going to work well for you if that's the case, because you're never going to get that theoretical time to kill. If you mount up a lot, it helps a lot at range, and it makes it have far less recoil. But if you're just running around in the open, I think a lot of people have difficulty controlling it. I didn't even love it that much, but I'm kind of not using ARs right now because I just love sniping so much. But I think you got all the big ones, yeah. I'm gonna try the DM56 marksman rifle today too. I started seeing some clips of that. That does have a good time to kill, I guess. It uses sniper ammo, but you can hold 80. So you get a 40 round mag, then you can hold 80, and then you can put more in your backpack. And since everyone has ammo now too, if you kill somebody and run over their body, they're gonna have sniper ammo every single time.
And also, with the dedicated ammo slots, which I mentioned last week, if you're playing on a team, unless everyone on your team is sniping, they're also going to be carrying 40 rounds of sniper ammo for you. Mm-hmm. So like the ammo it is annoying that it uses sniper ammo, and I haven't done it myself to be clear, so I'm not positive about this, but I'm pretty confident that ammo won't usually be an issue any more than AR ammo would be, which is good because that wasn't the case in like Warzone 2, when otherwise usable marksman rifles were not usable because it used sniper ammo. I don't think that's a consideration. So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, we'll talk more about that again on Saturday. So moving on, general adjustments, the backup pistol, it's in the game. I never used it once, but I guess it's nice to have. Locational damage modifiers. This is a big one. Locational damage multipliers have been flattened to provide a more consistent time to kill. Headshot multipliers are broadly decreased, and arm multipliers now match torso multipliers. This is a huge deal. Time to kill will feel a lot more consistent now for both of these reasons. Headshots matter less because they don't have like a 1.5x multiplier anymore. Probably more like 1.1 now in general. But the bigger thing even for me is arms counting as torso damage. So now when someone's like running side to side and you're shooting them just midsection, you're always getting torso damage now. Whereas before you would get quite a lot of arm damage and some torso damage as well. And then another thing that like Metaphor tweeted, which is absolutely true, for those of you who have the misfortune of playing on keyboard and mouse, this is really good for keyboard and mouse players because without aim assist in these up close gunfights, you're going to be hitting people's arms a lot more often than someone on a controller will be.
Especially with this movement speed, if they're strafing.
The center mass.
Yeah.
And especially with this movement speed as well.
If somebody's strafing back and forth, you're more likely to hit arm shots before you kind of readjust to try to get back on their chest. So that's true. It is good for that. Yeah.
Yes. So this is not going to change how you play the game at all. It's not going to impact your play style or anything. But knowing this is good to know. And I will also add, by the way, the time to kill and time to die did feel pretty consistent yesterday. There were a couple times where I was like, wow, I died really fast there. But most of the time felt pretty standard. And the same with me getting kills. I felt like most of the time people died at about the bullet I expected them to die at.
Really? Yeah.
And in Warzone 2, that was absolutely not the case. Time to kill felt really inconsistent in Warzone 2, in my opinion. So I guess this is working. At least it feels that way to me. Yeah.
My time to kill always felt good because I would just like, some guy would be 550 meters and I would just click on his head with a cat real quick and get a kill. So mine felt great. Yeah.
Yes, of course. Yes. So,
don't say that. Yeah. Don't use that phrase.
Anyway.
Don't say that.
That's that. And then the Riot Shield nerf, where you move slower if it's on your back, does carry to Warzone, which is good. Weapon tuning's been removed. Fantastic. Launcher damage. I don't care. Launchers will kill vehicles in one shot most of the time.
They've kind of been buffed. Yeah, a lot of them will like destroy a vehicle in one shot now.
Yeah. Which is, I guess, fine. There is not much reason to use a launcher when you have overkill by default now. I really can't justify taking a launcher if I can take like an SMG.
Yeah.
That's very hard for me to justify. I didn't get launchered once. So, but they're better against vehicles now. So there you go.
I'll be back in a couple minutes. Keep going.
Okay. Classic red dots, blah, blah, blah. Reload cancel segmented reloads. So you can reload cancel now, which is good. And improved water combat. So once again, this is fake. You do get your dedicated pistol, but you still can't see people who are underwater at all. And you still can't damage them either. When you're shooting at people in the water, there's still like no registration. It's not better. They didn't fix it. And they're still impossible to see, to be clear. However, it does seem they did something with people treading water, shooting their gun. They made that worse. I don't know exactly what they did, but I was doing this myself, or trying to, and I noticed I was like not as accurate, or I couldn't move at all. I don't know exactly what they did, but I'll also add, I didn't die to anyone who was in the water one time in the 6 hours of Warzone I played yesterday. So even though it was annoying when people would get in the water and I can't damage or see them, which they said they were going to fix and they absolutely didn't, at least they weren't killing me from the water. So water did get marginally improved, but not too much. And then, yeah, when you get brought back, you come back with a different type of weapon. So like back in the day, if it was Final Circle and someone bought you back, you'd come back with a pistol, no matter what. Now, the type of gun you come back with depends on how late into the game you are. So if you get bought back like immediately, you probably do have a pistol. If you get brought back mid-game, maybe you have like a striker SMG. If you get brought back late game, maybe you have like an MCW AR. Not a great gun, but definitely better than a pistol all the time. This is a bad change. And for a reason that I, in fact, exploited yesterday. So I'm playing trios with JK and L. And L buys me and JKN back at the same time. And we see a guy who is shooting at L. And since it's fairly late game, JKN and I are like, oh, let's just land on this guy and kill him. And we do. Because we don't have pistols. We have full auto guns. So we both just land on him at the same time from the sky. And then we both start shooting him. Like, oh no, our guns don't have attachments. Like, okay, well, we still very easily got that kill. And there was pretty much nothing that guy could do about it. That's really annoying and dumb and is a problem. And this should not be how it works in this video game. So they won't change this, to be clear. This is how it's just gonna be. But if you hear enemy incoming from above or whatever the narrator says, especially late game, be worried. Because like one guy coming from the sky can probably get on a really nice angle to start shooting at you. But especially if you get like two people from the same team, you're just super dead. Like it's really dumb. But it's not changing, so just be wary of that. Yeah. So anyway. Moving on here, adjusted features. So we're getting some loot, ground loot, supply box, pool, whatever. The money situation seems fine.
Definitely.
The ground loot rarity stuff is fine. Again, useful. But we've already kind of talked about this. Oh, here we go. The revive pistol has been removed from the loot pool, but may make a return in a future season. And then the ground loot spread. So like when you kill someone or when you open a box, the ground loot not being all on the same pixel. It is better, but also not, it's still not super, super great. I've seen better ground loot for sure, but it's okay. By and large, it was fine.
Also, the
biggest thing is auto picking up ammo now actually works.
It does.
So it doesn't matter that much that the ground loot's not perfect.
Remove every single MW2 gun from ground loot. Yeah, that's the other thing. So that, yeah, it makes like a little sound when you pick up like more rare weapons now or whatever, like it used to. Players will now notice the loot distribution and spread when opening a supply box. Yes, that is true. It is easier to grab things and find things. I still feel like it takes me a while right now. Sometimes I feel like some things kind of blend in, but honestly, it's probably just because you're not used to the map. You're not used to what's usually in a chest so far. They've changed kind of how certain things look on the ground, like streaks and things like that. So it kind of just feels like it's taken a long time, but the spread is really, really good for sure. Revive pistols has now been removed. Yes, okay, there it is. It may make a return in a future season. Got it. So let's be clear. They removed this because there was a bug where you would, if you had it equipped on you in your field upgrade slot, if you got downed, you would get just insta-thirsted. You would just be dead. You wouldn't actually be down. You'd just be immediately dead. And they say legendary audio. Yeah, it's a thing. The guitar riff when opening a box. Okay. Let's see. We have balanced the loot so that most everything can be found in general looting with enough time. However, we have tried to make rewards from activities like strongholds, contract, public events, and locations on the map, like hospitals, car garages, police stations, targetable for a specific desirable item or type of item like plate carriers. Okay. So if your team is in need of a specific item, there's likely a place or activity. Oh, so that's interesting. I hadn't read this before. So like if you go to a police station, I don't know where any of them are. If you play zombies, you must know where they're at. That means you can probably always come out of there with a bunch of vests. So that's very interesting because vests are very good. So cool. I like that. Backpack, they changed the layout. You have the dedicated ammo slots, yes. Navigation wrapping. The backpack and loadout will now navigate wrap when moving all the way to one side.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means. Dedicated ammo slots. Okay, Gulag entry kits are back. Identical.
Not super common, by the way.
Gulag entry kits?
Yeah.
You're right. They're not. And maybe that's why a lot of people are saying the late game is feeling slow right now, because they're actually there. I expected there to be a lot more of them. And the one that's even more rare is the extraction token. Which is the parachute. Yeah. You'll notice it because it's like 4 feet tall on the ground. It's 3 or 4 feet tall. It's a giant like parachute.
I didn't get one in 6 hours.
I found 1 or 2, I think, when I played.
Okay. If you're going to have that stuff, that's about the right amount, I think. Yeah.
It is, but now that they've dropped it to 100 players, is that the right amount? I don't know. That's what we'll figure out the more we play. So, identical kill streak auto-equip. Certain items will automatically equip from the backpack into the active loadout when a matching item is used. So if you pop a UAV, you have one stowed in your backpack. As soon as you pop that one, it will auto-equip the other UAV. Cool. I kind of just wish... I guess it couldn't work this way for all sort of streaks, because if you had, like... I don't know, if you had... Well... I kind of feel like if you only have one streak in your backpack, it should just auto-equip that either way. If I pop UAV and I have an airstrike in my backpack, I do wish it would just auto-equip. Because why would I not want to just have that auto-equipped? So maybe they'll make that change at some point too, but yeah, this is good.
Yeah.
Backpack now displays if you have a Gulag entry kit or redeploy pack available to use. Oh, there's like an icon on like the left side of the backpack. I think it shows it here. Yeah, so in this backpack image, if you're watching on the left side to the left of the cache here, it'll show if you have like Gulag entry kit, or the token. Yeah. Parachute, whatever they call it.
Yeah.
I talk about pings. The pings, I don't know what it is, but it feels kind of better. But you know what's still in is when you ping people at certain distances, all you see is the ping. And it's hard to see the actual person. That's still in from Warzone 2. It's like, it's too close to their head or something. So when they're at range, it's like that icon covers their body. Whereas in Warzone 1, that seemed to never be an issue. I feel like if you ping somebody, it was higher above their head, like an arrow pointing down or something. And so it never got in the way. But this game still, like Warzone 2, sometimes pinging enemies actually hurts your teammates more than it helps them. Sure, it tells you where the person's at, but then you can't shoot them, because they'll just have a whole red diamond over them, essentially. But other things definitely feel better. Like the TAC map looks better, looks less cluttered. The contracts are like easier to spot because the colors.
Yeah. And the icons and stuff too, like they said they were going to do.
Yeah.
Is definitely better. Yeah. So kill cam pings are not in yet, by the way.
Yeah. Okay.
But they will be. Because I was going to say I didn't notice a single one. But yeah, so no more wondering, how did they know I was there when you have a giant red ping over your head? So yeah, it'll help you report people you suspect might be walling more if this actually works. So,
yeah.
Good feature. Buy station interaction distance. So you can now use buys if they are up to 30 meters inside the gas. And the icon will be lit up or not, depending on if it's usable or not, basically. Which is a really good change, obviously. Because for the entirety of Warzone 2, it was literally random whether a buy in the gas, irrespective of how far out of the gas it was, would work or not. It was just random. Literally. There was no... It didn't work a particular way. There was no rule. Just a dice roll.
Well, there would be times where it would be grayed out. Yeah, like it was supposed to work that way, but it just never actually worked that way. You would go to it when it shows it was closed and it would let you use it. Or then you would go to one that shows it's open 5 meters into the gas and it just wouldn't. So the icon never worked. We used this one time yesterday and it did work the one time we used it. It was within 30 meters and it showed it was usable and we did use it. It was me. I was the last one alive, of course. I bought back my teammates. I wasn't the one dead. I was the one alive. I made a play. I jumped on the train.
JK
it was me.
Bought us.
No, it was me. So I did it.
That was you.
Because my teammates aren't good. Okay. So that's what I did, and I bought us back, and it worked. Yeah. And then I won us the game, too. So.
Well, and also what's really cool, actually, is when there's a fire sale going on, there's a little flame next to the buy stations.
Really? There a little
fire? I don't know if you noticed that, but yeah.
Sledgehammer must have had to even add that in, yeah. We want some more fire in the game.
Yeah, that's a Sledgehammer classic, fire. Yeah. So if a fire sale started recently, but you're not sure if it's still going on, you can always look at the buy station and see if there's a little flame next to it. It's still green, so it's kind of hard to notice, but yeah, cool, it is there. So that's cool. So there you go. Let's see. Loadouts are cheaper now. I feel like the money situation we're in right now is actually perfect. Because again, like I said last episode, the actual price of a loadout doesn't matter. It only matters depending on how much money is like in the game. I think we're at like a perfect balance right now. Loadouts aren't too expensive. They aren't too cheap either. And there would be a problem if they're too cheap, because then you'd have so much money you could just buy a bunch of kill streaks and it would be a bunch of kill streak spam, like was the case on Caldera at one point. But right now, I think the money situation is just about perfect.
Yeah.
I think.
So it's 7,500, 10, 12,500, and then 15,000 for solos, duos, trios, quads.
Yes. And then the loadout crate will now have a very visible like blue outline if you can actually hit it. And it won't have that outline if you can't. Like in the game world when you're looking at it.
Yeah.
So now you'll know like, oh, did I hit this loadout or not? Now you'll know if you actually see it in game, because it'll be very obviously highlighted if you can hit it. So there you go. The manual gas mask, we already talked about that. The gas mask overlay.
Why do they not just have a bind for it?
Yeah.
It's stupid.
They never have and never will, probably.
No, they made the bind in Caldera. Why can they not just make a bind again?
They didn't make a bind in Caldera. I remember complaining about that. I thought that's what it was going to mean.
I thought it did end up being a bind.
Open your backpack and unequip it. Mm-mm.
Was it? I thought you just literally pressed a button.
I'm 95% sure that's not true, because I remember complaining about it. Maybe they added that later, but I don't think so. I'm almost positive they didn't, actually. You had to like open your backpack, which is dumb, by the way. Especially with like, even controllers have like 100 buttons now. There's like 4 paddles, and then there's like 6 buttons like underneath your analog sticks. Controllers have the bind for it too. Like they have the space for that bind. So it should be a key bind, but you have to open your backpack and then equip or unequip it that way, which is dumb. However, if you pick one up, it will auto equip, and it does give you an overlay, which is less obstructive than it used to be.
It's less obstructive for sure.
It's less obstructive. I still don't want it on all the time, but it is less obstructive, which I'll take, I guess. But what's going to be your strat? Are you just going to always have the gas mask on?
No, I don't think so. Honestly, I've been so annoyed of them. I don't know. I usually pick them up and then I just stow it and I forget I even have one. I don't know. Because it's not like you can just open your backpack and then press a keybind. You have to open your backpack and then go hover over it and click it. It's so annoying. Like, it's so annoying trying to do that on KBAM when you're like on the edge of gas or something and you want to get it prepared and some guys are shooting at you. It's like, yeah, let me just press tab and then find my mouse cursor wherever it is on my screen, drag it over, and then also click as I'm getting shot. It's very annoying.
Mm-hmm.
Make it a keybind.
It is annoying.
Make it a keybind.
I agree.
Even if it's pressing the backpack button and then pressing a keybind to put it on. Because that's basically what controllers, they open the backpack and it's auto hovered over their gas mask, I think, right?
True.
So they just have to press A. I have to use my mouse like an asshole. It's dumb. So make it a keybind. Pretty simple. I don't know how they can never get this right, I'll be honest. I don't know how they just can't do it.
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't know. But yeah. So anyway, the only thing we haven't talked about with this is the overlay, which it is a lot less obstructive. But the problem I have with it is that normally I just keep my gas mask on. Because, by the way, they're not very common. They are very uncommon, in fact. I feel like I did not find many gas masks.
They were common.
It's something you should probably buy if you don't have one, which you likely won't. At least compared to Warzone 2, I'm finding way fewer. Or I was yesterday.
I mean, yesterday alone, I think I found 3 or 4 durables. You'll find regular gas masks in regular containers all the time. I don't know. I thought they were very common.
That's weird. Either way, whatever. The problem I have with just leaving it on all the time is because, the overlay is not that bad, so I can just play with it constantly being on, and I don't think it's that big of a deal. But if you are at 50% durability, now you really can't leave it on. You can, but that's super annoying because all the gas mask cracks are going to be in your screen for 100% of the time. And now I am going to have to open my backpack like a butthole, take it off.
Does it show cracks in it then if you just leave it on like that?
It does.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Permanently. Yeah, exactly. That's annoying.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, that's annoying.
Yeah.
So either way, whatever. And then, they changed the circle pacing. They basically just made all of them faster, which, we kind of already talked about. Gas damage is 10 damage a tick up from 9, which is interesting. I don't know. I have nothing to say about that. Redeploy drones. So they go farther and faster now, basically. They're solid. And I will add, there are exactly enough balloons on Urzikstan. There could be a few more. That's what I would say.
There could still be more, yeah. I feel like Caldera had the perfect amount of balloons. But maybe also that's one of those things that you learn kind of as you learn the map. Well, I don't know. Are they static, actually? They're not static, right?
No.
Okay, so never mind. You
I
would
don't
never
believe
learn
so. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of wish they were just static, too.
I kind of liked that system. Yeah.
They would remain stationary in the gas for up to 45 seconds. It used to be as soon as gas would hit them, basically, they would start leaving just about.
Correct.
Jesus
Christ,
dog.
It was actually 5 seconds. It was crazy.
That's really good to know. I didn't know that. So you can go in gas then to hit a balloon if you have to. Once the circle.
For up to 45 seconds.
Okay.
Yeah. So by the way, once they start moving from being in gas to in zone, you can't use them while they're moving. So they become usable again once they're done moving. They'll re-drop their little rappel. But don't try and hit one while it's moving because it won't work. But there you go. And they do launch you pretty far and pretty fast. I would again say I could go for a little more distance, but they're pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think they're as good as Caldera balloons were, though.
No, they haven't added anything as good as those since we have the Caldera balloons. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you need to go a little bit higher, especially on this map, because they're even more important because there are no massive hills to jump off of or anything. So it's you need the balloons to work a lot better on a map like this. Like Caldera, you could jump off mountains even and go really far. You can't on this map. So really the balloons you should go higher and further than Caldera even, but I don't know. They're fine. Yeah.
They're not bad though.
They're not horrible. No.
Yeah. So they're definitely worth using. They changed Death's Door so that when you're weak, your UI isn't totally screwed up
That's good.
as much. And it feels that way. Yeah. I don't feel it feels fine. Let's see. Less spawn protection. We already talked about that. That's fine.
That's huge. Yeah.
You infill from lower on the ground. Okay.
There's a 3-minute intro at the start of every Battle Royale match. That's not in the patch notes. I'm already seeing people on Twitter bitch about that now. Where they're
about what?
The intro that it shows before you get in the chopper.
Oh my gosh.
Or the plane. People are like, oh my God, can we just remove this already? And you called it the first match on. You're like, this will get old very quickly. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Where Graves is like, all right, guys, get your gun.
It's old. Yeah.
Whatever.
Watching the same thing over and over like that, it gets old.
Boring.
Unnecessary.
Yeah.
Hopefully that is just gone at Season 1 Reloaded.
Yeah. So anyway, there you guys go. So moving on, a lot of stuff we've already talked about. We did do a black site, by the way, and this is the only way you'll fight AI in BR is if you enter a black site. And there's a couple AI and the Juggernaut, just like Warzone 2. And when you kill the Juggernaut, he drops gear that isn't worth it.
It was a waste of time.
He can drop an advanced UAV, but we didn't get one. We got like nothing really. I think we got some money and like some boxes, like munis and armor boxes.
Yeah.
But super not worth doing if you don't get an advanced UAV.
Because
that was it.
If it's close to you, I would say
token.
I would go like 150 meters or so to it. It kind of just depends. But if you're, let's say you're dead center of the map and it's like on the bottom edge of the first circle, absolutely not worth going for. No, don't bother. But if it's close to you, I would still do it. Because you do have that chance of the advanced UAV. I think we got some vests out of it too, maybe. I think it was like vest, armor box, muni, the minigun, which doesn't matter.
Oh, the minigun as well, yeah.
So
yeah, whatever. Anyways, and then they'll be closely monitoring the balance of the cash economy and will likely make adjustments to ensure a variety of strategies remain viable. That probably means there's going to be more cash. That's probably what that means. Which I guess is fine. Let's not get too crazy. I think the cash situation's kind of fine already, but whatever. And then perks. So, yeah, they added a bunch of perks. Perk packs can still be looted. And we've already talked about all of these. We will talk more about this on Saturday.
Yeah.
Because now obviously, since they're out, we know which perks go in which slot. So on Saturday, we will talk about some standouts. Mm-hmm. But I'll say right now, a couple standouts. Sleight of hand in perk slot 1, very good. What else? Resolute, I'm seeing a lot of people using that as their perk 4, which is where you move faster when you're shot. I haven't used it that much, but I've seen other people using it. I'm going to try it today. Yeah. So I'll let you guys know how that feels for sure by Saturday. High Alert is another perk 4, which is really good. Shrouded, where you drop a smoke grenade if you get downed, hilariously, is a perk 4. So you can take that or High Alert. It's completely insane that they put it there. But
yeah, we wouldn't use this in the base category. Worse. I'm dead serious. There are 4 other perks, I think, maybe probably 5, that I would 100% use over this. Probably more than that. But they're like actually good ones to pick from even in the first category. And this is an ultimate perk. Like I think it's actually a mistake. There's no way. Yeah. I can't believe it. Yeah.
It's pretty wild. Yeah. But yeah. We will talk more about the perks and our opinions on them when we on Saturday. One other thing, by the way, there's a perk now, Escapist, increased downed, prone, and crouch speed. When you get downed now and you don't have that perk, you barely move. Downed movement speed has never been slower than it is right now. I think that's probably a good thing, to be clear, but just keep that in mind. And the perk is not worth taking also, to be clear about that as well. But you do move really slow when you're downed. And if you get a down and someone's really far away, you have time. They're not going anywhere unless they're using this perk, in which case, I don't know, man, you're probably going to kill them anyway. So yeah, but we'll talk more about these on Saturday. Let's see. So adjusted perks. Ghost only works while moving. And then the stealth plate carrier works exactly the same as Ghost. With Bird's Eye, enemy unsuppressed gunshots will show headings. I believe that means they'll show up on the compass, but not on the minimap. What do you think that means? Because being able to see on the minimap a silenced gun would be really strong.
Unsuppressed, not suppressed.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
So this is on the minimap. If somebody fires a loud gun, it shows the direction they're looking. That's what it is.
Oh, okay.
So they show up looking like an advanced UAV suite, basically.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, you're right.
I don't. I mean, it's not worth taking for that. But like Bird's Eye is good, and it's nice to have that. But it's not anything like very good or something. But yeah, it just looks like an advanced UAV ping.
Yeah, and the big thing is if you pop a UAV and you have Bird's Eye or anything like it, you will detect ghosted players as well.
Yeah. And
that includes the comms plate carrier that gives you the same benefits as Bird's Eye. I wish they would have done away with the vest system.
I do too. I don't like having the vest in the game at all.
It's pretty silly, but whatever.
I thought for sure those were gonna go, but
I know. Anyway, yeah. Cold-blooded negates Combat Scout. Combat Scout is a ping, by the way. We confirmed that. It's not good.
Combat Scout is not good.
Yeah. It just pings. It doesn't highlight the character like it used to. Let's see. That's pretty much it there. Yep. Pretty much it there. So the movement things, we've already talked about this as well. Tack pads, commando gloves, quick grip gloves, and climbing boots by default. Climbing boots partial, by the way, if you're curious what that means. Climbing boots in multiplayer mean you take less fall damage. That does not carry over to Warzone, but everything else does. So yeah, we'll talk way more about the new movement on Saturday. There you go. Reduce the slowdown when landing from the first jump and reduce the sprint out delay after jumping. You also jump higher, faster, and jump ADS more quickly now as well in Warzone. Didn't notice that.
I didn't know this and I didn't notice it, yeah.
But good change. So, okay. The distance that players travel while sliding is now impacted by the incline of the surface. This I did notice, which is very cool. So there was one late game where we slid down a hill, like outside, and you slide far when you go down a hill. Not like Apex style, where you actually go forever if you're going down, but it's like more than double, depending on the incline or the decline. It's pretty cool. And likewise, you don't slide as far as standard if you're sliding up a hill. Good change and noticeable. I liked it. So yeah, keep that in mind. Big game bounties are back. Scavenger contracts are back as well. They work just like they used to.
They're excellent, yeah.
And and one of the guaranteed rewards is a random plate carrier. So like tempered vest or medic vest.
Scavenger vests are worth doing. We did 3 of them yesterday, maybe.
Yeah, they're worth
all
doing.
of them end up being within like 100 meters of where we started it, 150 meters. They're all very close. It's good to have those back. Contracts are 100% worth doing in this game again, which is great.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like it's back to landing on contracts like in Warzone 1.
Yeah, definitely. Bounty, big game bounty, and scav. These are all in my rotation for sure.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, we got the laptops. They are easy to see, so that's good. I can pick up contracts again. There are plenty of contracts as well, also, which again is good. And the icons do look great on the map. I like them. Let's see. This is cool. Most wanted. Surviving the contract will spawn a high-value supply crate, which will always include a gulag entry kit. And I think it still works this way. If you kill someone who's most wanted, that crate will immediately drop. So it makes killing the most wanted more worthwhile.
But I don't know, because it
makes doing it more worthwhile.
Because they do specifically say surviving this contract.
The reason I say that is because I think JKN had a most wanted yesterday and died, and I watched the crate drop on him right away.
Really?
Because we failed it. Yeah.
Huh.
I'm not positive, but that is how it worked once upon a time, and I think it does still work that way. Yeah. Not a huge deal, I guess, either way. You guys can look into that yourselves, but yeah, these are like worth doing. And then that's pretty much it there. So yeah, now new public events, restock supply sweep. So you get like the supply box UAV. Don't care. Flyby. This is again where a bunch of drones will fly in and drop portable buys. This is cool.
I don't think I ever saw this unless I didn't pay attention when they dropped it. I don't remember getting this one.
I think we got it a couple times. Yeah. The Stronghold event is back. Strongholds do not have any AI, by the way. All you have to do is go to the POI and cap it, and then you get your loadout. And then you also get a black site key. You can pick that up, go to a black site. That's where AI could be. But this is cool. And then fire sale discount is now 50% up from 30%. So everything's half off with a fire sale now, which is really good. So there you go.
Very cool.
And then some more lethals. These are all coming from MW3. A couple balance changes to lethals. Basically making them all do more damage, it looks like. I guess is fine. Smoke grenade duration was nerfed from 9 1/4 seconds to 7 1.14 seconds. This is noticeable, but smokes are still probably the meta tactical on Urzikstan.
Yeah, it does still seem like we're in a smoke meta. Stims just, even with the movement boost, they'll never be what they were because they just immediately stop the moment you take any point of damage. So it's like, if I pop one right when I'm getting shot and I feel like I'm one shot, it's not going to matter. I'm going to get a slight movement speed buff, but it's not going to heal me because I'm going to get shot right after, and it's just going to negate the rest of the heal. So,
exactly.
Yeah, I was hoping stims would be good. They are not good at all. Everyone is still running smoke grenades.
Yeah, maybe on Rebirth or Resurgence, I'd probably use stims still.
Yeah, true. Good point.
Big map, yeah, it's a smoke meta, but smokes are noticeably nerfed, which I think is fine. 7 seconds is still plenty of time, so I'll take it. And then, yeah, there's the gas
lethals,
mask,
by the way, they buffed all of those.
Grenade.
So Semtex does a lot more damage. Frag does a lot more damage. Claymore does more damage. Drill Charge does more damage. Thermite does more damage. You died to a frag yesterday because some guy cooked it, landed it on you, and it immediately downed you because it deals...
SEAL Team 6.
I don't know. Well, it says it deals 251 damage, so I guess you only had 2 plates in. That must have been they did some damage to you.
These were the highest IQ players on Earth. They cooked a frag, threw it at me, and didn't start shooting me until it blew up. And so I died like 100 milliseconds after it blew up at my feet. But before that, they didn't even shoot at me. It was insane. But it did a lot of damage. I was full health, though. But yeah, they do a lot of damage. They're really good. Yeah. So, anyway. Yeah, I guess we'll talk more about lethals on Saturday as well. Tactical equipment. So yeah, moving on. The tear gas grenades now do gas damage. This is another reason to always have your gas mask equipped, I guess, because if you do have it equipped when you get tear gassed, you'll immediately not take damage from that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I did some damage with these early games. But I mean, I'm not running this as a tactical, so it doesn't really matter. But anyway, yeah. Let's see. Some other changes to tacticals. Nothing really to go over there. Battle Rage mitigates 10% of damage taken while under its effects. That sounds really good. I wonder if that is now the play for Resurgence. Like just 10% less damage taken?
Because it takes a little while to activate.
Probably only flesh damage, though.
I don't know, because it takes a little while to activate, and then also it's like... I don't know. Yeah, maybe. Because I was thinking, if you're in a gunfight, you start getting shot. If you need to, like, run away or something, Stim's going to be better. If you can lose line of sight, because then Battle Rage just takes longer to activate. I'm not sure. I don't know if it would be very good in Warzone.
Yeah, Battle Rage would be something you hit before a push.
Yeah.
Where Stim is kind of to, like, get out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Stim's to get away.
That's interesting. Something to keep in mind. Heartbeat sensor is now a field upgrade. The portable radar pulse is now 76 meters instead of 38. We might mention this on Saturday. We might not. These are super good, and you should be picking them up more and using them.
Yeah, they are really good.
We got a lot of kills and intel and saved our own lives a lot by throwing down portable radars, and there are a lot of them just like around as loot. These are really, really strong now. It's like a little
we threw them down all
stationary the time. UAV. Yeah, they're really good. They're really good.
Yeah.
Especially because most people aren't using Ghost. So it's like really solid. Yeah. Don't sleep on the portable radar. It's like your whole mini map, basically. It covers. Not quite, but almost. It's really good. And then the delay on boxes has been removed. So as soon as that box is out of your hands, you can hit it for ammo. You don't have to wait like a full second. So that's kind of a nice little quality of life change there. They added the Guardian.
Okay.
Which is like the Torque Barricade kill streak.
Okay.
From MW3 to Warzone, which is super dumb. I don't know. I used it to kill the Juggernaut. That's the only utility I got out of this. But it was good for that.
Oh, that's what we did to the Juggernaut.
Slow.
Well, because he was just sitting there just constantly stunned. I was just mag dumping it. I'm not sure he ever fired a bullet at us because we were all just mag dumping him and he was like drunk.
In the microwaves. Yeah.
Yeah, he was lost. Yeah, that's cool. Mosquito drone. This is also from MW3. Automated drone that hovers in an area before descending on a target, dealing damage. It will show up on the minimap with an icon and can be shot down. Yes. You can one-shot it with the sniper. We were doing that. I don't know if it's hard to shoot down with like an AR, but I was sniping it one bullet and it was easy. It shows in the minimap where it's flying around. So let's be clear. If you like throw these down because you're thinking like, I want to cover my building, I'm going to be sitting here in the building, you will never do a point of damage with it, ever. However, these can be good mid-fight because people don't expect it. I think Raz was probably dead. He was in the gulag or something.
I wasn't. I was in a building.
Okay. Yes, it was Jakin who was dead or was coming back or something. I don't know, but there was a 3-man pushing us. And I threw that sucker up. You were blocking a window, and I was like, get out of my way. Move, move, move. So he gets out of the window, and I fire the drone out the window. And then I move windows, get in the left one. This guy's running up to the building. I don't even know what's going on. I'm not paying attention. I shoot the guy, down him. Next thing I know, it says team wipe. And I was like, huh? And I look at the kill feed, and my Mosquito drone got 2 downs. And then I got the last guy and I squad wiped him. So it can be really good in certain situations like that, but don't expect it to just ever work as like a defensive item. You use it in a gunfight because who's going to be thinking about looking up? If you're like close to somebody, you launch that thing, it'll go straight up in the air and then come down and attack them. It's busted OP in situations and it needs to not be in the game. That and the bomb drone need to not be in the game, and they're super common. They both need to go. It's that simple. Yeah.
Yeah. The Mosquito drone is far more powerful than the bomb drone is, though. Well, the bomb drone, you can see people through walls still, which is super dumb. Like the little white squares. So you can get intel with that. That's super dumb still. But the bomb drone cannot one-hit kill anyone, whether or not they have EOD. I learned that yesterday, which is good. Mosquito drone, I don't know if that's true for, because he got
I don't know if
kill.
they were fully plated or not. I
we don't know.
Find it hard to believe that thing could get a double kill on 2 people that are fully plated, but
that would be insane. But this is Call of Duty.
Was like early game-ish. I think it was early game. It was still like first circle.
It was early,
so it's entirely possible they weren't fully plated. Either way, if you're in a gunfight and you throw that thing up, you start doing damage to people, it could save you. It could really save you. So definitely pick those up. I don't know if you can buy those from buy stations. I didn't look.
That's a good question.
I may consider really buying those if they're a decent price and, you know.
Because like you said, if you use them in a gunfight, even if I know they threw one, I don't have time to like look up for like a drone and start shooting it. Like I have to be moving, shooting the players with guns that are shooting me. You actually can't do anything about it in a gunfight. Like mid-fight, yeah, it's really strong. So take it out of the game. Anyway, moving on. Vehicles, the Coyote's in, don't care.
Oh, this is a lie. The input delay when entering a vehicle has been decreased by 50%. Total lie. Because I was watching Raz get in a truck, right? And I could tell he was probably pressing W to go forward. I'm listening to the truck. He didn't start rolling for 5.5 seconds. The truck doesn't move for 10 seconds. Yeah, it's great. He continued to pick us up, drive it, I'm not kidding, 30 feet. He bounced off some wall and the vehicle totally just hovered and shifted to 90 degrees to our left, and we were stuck, and we ran the rest of the way in. So don't use big vehicles. They're still awful, and this is a lie. They did not fix them at all.
Yeah, they're not good.
At least the Bertha. Yeah. The small... I did pick up a Coyote one time I was driving it. That actually really did feel... the response time was a little bit better. The Bertha, though, actually, I'm not kidding. They didn't touch it. That one's still messed up.
It needs a couple other Vs for sure.
It needs some torque. Cylinders. Yeah, it needs that low end torque. It's missing it.
It's dramatically missing it. Yeah, that was a joke. I couldn't believe that scenario, but yeah, of course. And of course, it turns into something that gets it stuck. Like, yes, great.
It was so funny.
Yeah. So yeah, the vehicle's still handled miserably, but whatever. And then helicopter collision. I don't know. Maybe. Next, combat record.
Doesn't matter.
So it doesn't work. If you wanted to like look at your stats, that's cool, but it doesn't work. I played for like 6 hours. It said I played for 1. So okay. It just doesn't work. So that's cool. But their intention is for there to be like stats in game for BR this season. They're going to add Resurgence as well next season. And then they're going to even add plunder stats in season 3. Why on earth they can't just show them all now will never make sense to me. This sounds insanely easy to do. You literally look at what the score was after the game, and then you add it to a total. I don't know how this is even remotely complicated, but I guess it is. Because not only are they doing this in phases, it also doesn't even work as intended for the current phase, which is BR. Cool. Plus man.
Oh my gosh. So if you're a Plunder main, you can play Plunder for 2 full seasons before it starts showing your stats. What?
Well, yes. And even more confusingly, once you see your Plunder stats in season 3, you'll have Plunder stats up until that point. So it's already tracking. Why not just show it?
I don't understand. This is as weird to me as the update requires restart. I do not understand it. If it's tracking, how can it not show it? Exactly. I don't get it. I don't get it, and I never will. They explicitly
say it is tracking now because it'll show retroactively. Yeah. I don't get it. I don't know.
Okay.
But I don't
care. Yeah, stats don't matter when you don't have public API. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, you need exactly. You need the public API, so who cares? Anyway, let's move on. Let's see.
New headshot sound effect. That is true. Another sound effect that is not in the patch notes. You have hit markers on yourself. When you get shot, there is a hit marker sound. And it's miserable, and it should not be in the game. Yeah. Totally unnecessary. Don't know why they do it. I don't need to hear. I know I'm being shot. I don't need like the sound of my own plates cracking or like a hit marker sound when I get hit. I just don't need it. Especially when I'm in an SMG gunfight. Why do I want that sound? Well, it's dumb. That needs to go.
Yeah. That's pretty much it here. Nothing else to really go over. And then they list some known issues. Let's see. Are any of these relevant? Not really. And then one other thing I guess I'll say is the rejoin mechanic is currently in. And we did it once. Doesn't work super well, because by the time I loaded in, I had died in Gulag. Cool. And then by the time Tanner had loaded in, he had also died, and I think was being shot in the Gulag. And then we just had to back out anyway.
Well, so I died in my Gulag, and then realizing now what must have happened is I got that Gulag second chance, because then I had another Gulag. But by the time I was spawning in, it was like halfway over, and I was like already being shot or something. Or like I spawned in and I started moving, and the guy was already at mid. I don't remember, but I died twice in the Gulag. So yeah, the only times, I'm not kidding, I've used this in Warzone, I've been mid Gulag match when I reload. This is what happened in Warzone 2. The first time I got it to work, I was in the Gulag dying as I got back in the match. I'm like, can you not just delay it? Can you not just delay the Gulag to start? I mean, come on.
Yeah. Yeah, it just takes too long. It's so slow. So, I don't know. It's in the game. And then that's it for the patch notes. They write a big blurb with thank you at the bottom. Okay. You're welcome. Overall, Season 1, Warzone. Pretty solid. Again, on Saturday, we will talk more about our opinions on Warzone. And there is a lot to say. And again, before Saturday, I will just have as a brief spoiler alert, I'm really enjoying Warzone, at least so far. And we will have more details on that on Saturday. But yeah, overall, very solid.
It's the best game I've ever played, yeah. It's so much better than Warzone 2. I'll hate it soon, let's be clear, but it's so much better than Warzone 2. God, it's so much better. It's not even close.
It really is.
Yeah. Oh, it's so much better.
Yeah, for sure. So, all right, so moving on from the patch notes, we have another couple little things here. For a lot of you, there might be an error when you launch the game that says you can't play unless you reset your like rank and unlocks. That's fake. Just press yes. It will erase your custom classes, but it won't erase your custom gun setups, and it won't reset your rank or change your challenges or your camos or anything like that. So just press yes to play, just as a little PSA. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't know why it does that, by the way, but it does.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Let's see. So another thing Tanner already mentioned is that, again, damage values, damage ranges, etc. for MW3 guns in multiplayer are going to not always be the same in Warzone. So, you know, the Ram 7 maybe does 30 damage to the chest in multi. It might do 35 in Warzone or something like that. This is on purpose. Raven wrote a lot of words, big words on Twitter to that effect. But like Tanner already mentioned, if you've been building guns based on data for multiplayer in MW3, for Warzone, then LOL, because it doesn't necessarily translate. And in fact, I would say most of the time it doesn't translate. That's a shame. I wish it didn't work that way, but it does. So I wonder if they'll ever have the gunsmith detailed stats look different in Warzone to reflect that or not. I don't know, but unsurprisingly, we're going to have to be relying on sim.gg and true game data for accurate damage values and time to kill values and stuff for Warzone. And that is intentional.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yeah. And again, they did say like before season 1 launch, it's like season 1 reloaded is when they'll be doing a lot of weapon balancing. So I kind of expected it to not be great to start with, and that's probably kind of where it's at. Wonder if anyone's really tried to like use MW2 guns. Wonder if any of those are broken right now at all and just very good. But yeah, they yapped and said a lot of words. Basically, they're saying there will be more weapon balancing in season 1 reloaded.
Yeah.
So yeah. And then last thing here from True Game Data, he did confirm with testing. So they say it that the cat one-shots, and it does one-shot at any distance with any ammo type. They didn't mention other 2 snipers. The MCPR and the FJX Imperium will both headshot at all ranges. Hold on. Which is exciting, right? Super exciting. Come on. There we go. Got a jump start. With explosive ammo. So yeah, it's up to you. You can either use an MCPR with 400 velocity and a bullet that arcs, I mean, it kind of just arcs 90 degrees actually as soon as you fire it. So you can use that, or you can use the new Cat MW3 sniper with 1500 velocity with Spire point rounds. So it kind of a hard decision. I understand how that may be difficult for some of you, but there are 2 other one-shot snipers in the game. Very cool.
And by the way, the fact of these 2 one-shotting with explosive ammo is almost certainly not intended. So, as if there was a reason to use them anyway, yeah. So, it looks like the Cat is the only sniper that can one-shot at any range right now. And I don't exactly expect that to change. I don't know. We'll talk more about snipers on Saturday.
Changes. I think we get more snipers that one shot in season 1 reloaded. All of it with different damage ranges, one shot. Some of them, of course, won't. We'll probably still have some
that I do expect.
Yeah.
But I mean, at any range. I don't know if we're going to get, well, yeah, maybe. I guess at that time.
I mean, if the cat does, it almost handles the same as like these other two. I feel like they should just all do it, or
the
none
Imperium.
of them should do it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll see.
Maybe those handle a little bit better, actually. I don't know. They probably do.
Yeah.
Don't care.
Or they'll just nerf it because people are mad. They're getting
or we won't have
again.
one-shot snipers come season 2 because noobs
Pepe
complained
W,
on Twitter
Troll
about
Despair,
it. Yeah.
Doom Jack. Yeah. So we'll see.
Repulse will get the devs on again and complain, and they'll change it mid-pod.
Yeah. So
Deal
we will
damage instead. Thanks, Repulse.
We will keep you guys posted on that. I certainly hope not, but we'll have more to say specifically on that topic on Saturday as well. That's it for us, boys and girls. Hope you enjoyed season 1 overall. Very big W. For multiplayer, small W. For Warzone, massive W. And if you want more details on that and exactly what we think, and by the way, we might learn more things about Warzone right now by Saturday. We will go over those as well on Saturday. That's going to be a really fun episode. We have a ton to say about our impressions, review, with some tips and tricks sprinkled in for our next episode, 382. So stay tuned for that. Keep your little ears open. And if you want to listen early or whatever, patreon.com/thedropshot. And we do bonus eps also. And stay humble.
Stay humble.